Hello, Seeker, and welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a treasure trove of craft brew on the side. I am Jade, and I'm here with Nate and Aaron.
Hello.
And today, we're trying to figure out if we're talking about chapter 42, because we feel like this is where it should be. You know?
It should be here.
We have that feeling.
Like, I feel like I should be able to keep walking forward, and I will get to chapter 42 read along, watch along, whatever this is.
It's where it's been before. That's where it was.
We just did 41.
Right.
Yeah.
Now it's 42, right?
It should be.
It should be.
Natural progression of things would say so.
Unfortunately, there's no way for us to tell.
No.
Yeah, it's too bad. There's no way. There's no way to know. So anyway, that's the chapter. That's the episode. We'll see you guys real soon.
It's almost as if we should have a book of some kind that had all of these in order that we could look at, and then, then we could probably know which chapter we're on, but...
That's weird. That'd be weird, though.
Until something like that exists, I guess, Wait, if that doesn't exist, then how'd we even get this far?
I didn't know where you were
The
going.
joke
with
has
that.
no premise. I don't know what I'm doing.
What's happening?
Yeah, I was like, this Nate's digging. We're going to see where he digs to. Maybe it's just a hole.
Turns out it was.
But okay, so this chapter is kind of all over the place. There's a couple different places that we go
Oh, yeah.
within today's chapter. So I don't have a very good synopsis here at the top of the hour.
We have been talking about the way we're going to release the episodes, which book comes next, kind of a thing, to stay in Terry's frame of mind. And this chapter is very much I got to add something about them. Oh, yeah, I got to add something about these people, too. Oh, yeah, and this is happening over here.
Wait, it's been how many chapters since Richard's been talked about?
So we just kind of hit on everything a little bit. Yeah.
But we have to first tie up Kahlan's storyline. Her story for this chapter.
She is who we just left in the last chapter, so it makes sense to start with her on this chapter.
Exactly. We can't just leave her the way we did. So we rejoin her watching Kahlan is watching Shota go off into the woods, and she is at the Sliph well, essentially. She has to go around a corner, but she's basically there. She isn't quite ready to travel, going over everything that's just happened with Shota in her mind. Her problems don't quite seem as desperate as they did back in the Reach now, because she has a little bit of distance from that heavy scene.
I gotta imagine she's still in shock a little bit.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you need time to have everything settle.
To process,
I'm sure she's very emotional right now.
It seemed very black and white back there. Now things can, fade to gray a little bit. After all, she's engaged to the goddamn seeker of truth.
That's true.
And he's not going to give up, and neither will she. They are in love, and they just got to think of the solution and not the problem.
They will find the true way to fix everything.
Absolutely. When I wrote that, I absolutely wrote think of the problem, not the solution, 3 times for some reason. And I was like, this is not the way we have to do this.
Yeah, because that is the right way.
Yeah.
Think about the solution, not the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As she sits there thinking, she realizes that the bone knife on her arm has heated up, and it's bugging her. And the feathers on the end are all standing up and doing a weird little dance, despite there being no wind at all.
Creepy.
Yeah.
A little spooky.
Little spoopy.
It is a little spoopy, but it's a possessed knife. It's going to do some weird stuff, right? It hasn't done anything like that yet.
I was going to say, we don't have scientific evidence that it is a possessed knife.
Okay, not
we
exactly
just know
possessed, but
in theory, it's a possessed knife.
Well, and
you own a part of the body that a spirit is still technically connected to. So in theory, it could be.
It stabbed the person.
Do some weird things.
Oh, that's right. She doesn't remember lifting it up.
Yeah, but it was there.
Yeah,
lifted on its own. Yeah. But it was in her hand, so it's
but the spirit did it. Yeah. Okay, it couldn't have been her.
Doesn't that happen to everybody though? You just wake up stabbing somebody and you're like, oh, that was weird.
Shit,
that knife is definitely possessed because I didn't stab somebody 17 times.
That has my friend's grandpa in it. It's fine.
Don't again.
No, it was his shoes. He tripped and fell into my knife 17 times. Yeah. Can you believe that? Just kept getting up and falling over, and I was just standing there like, oh, man.
It happens.
So at realizing that the bone knife is being all weird, she stands and she tells the Sliph that she has to go see the mud people. And the Sliph is like, what?
Yeah, hey, you know how I can go to any place?
Yeah.
You didn't tell me a place, Kahlan.
Yeah.
I want to please you, but I have rules.
It
Not a lot, really just the one. Give me a location.
It is actually kind of strange that at this point, they've never actually had a name for like, everybody else has a name for, like, what the people are called or what the town is called.
Yeah.
They are literally just the mud people, which is great. Everybody else is like the Bandikar or the Jokopo. Nope, they are the mud people. That is weird.
Right. There's no name for, like, their territory.
Village. Yeah, that's weird. But she's like, okay, so she has to struggle to tell the Sliph where she wants to go. She's like, all right, it's like a flat place with no mountains, like no trees, like what we're around. And Sliph like, cool, I know some places like that. She starts naming off all the different places she can go. The last one she says is the Jokopo treasure. And at this, Kahlan remembers Chandelin telling her about his grandfather and the Jokopo people and figures that means it's close to the mud people.
It's gotta be.
At the very least, it's nearby, right? Because they fought those people. The Sliph is obviously remembering names from a long time ago.
When she was built.
Right, because nobody else knows what the Jokopo treasure is right now. Jokopo.
I think I'm saying it way different than you are.
And
that
maybe
sounds better. Yeah.
And maybe the land was named after the people. So it's like that's how the Sliph knows. Like, yes, it's called the Jokopo treasure because like that is the people who, whereas like mud people still, it's not called mud people land.
Mud people land?
You know, it's not called, so it's like the Jokopo were enough of a thing that it was like, this is their territory.
I don't know why that just reminded me of like a McDonald's, but instead of a ball pit, there's just a big pit of mud where the kids can go jump in.
Well, actually, I do believe we go to mud people land a little bit later in this chapter.
Oh, good.
Oh, yeah.
That was good.
That's funny. Okay. Also, the other thing that makes her realize that this must be the right thing is that the bone knife gets all excited when it's mentioned.
Ooh.
Yeah, starts freaking out.
It's like a dog with the wagging tail.
Yeah.
Just like, yeah,
that's
let's
the
go
one.
stab a motherfucker.
Oh, yeah, Lassie? Okay, all right, let's go.
You guys are much more innocent than me because I took the word excited and went to a different meaning.
What, it gets bigger?
Yeah, the horny meaning.
Yeah, he was thinking of a dick.
Yeah, well, not necessarily. I was just thinking of...
Look, before battle, it's, 3.5, maybe 4 inches. But during battle, it's like 4.5 inches.
That's a solid 4 inches.
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
It's for the... Yeah, anyway.
Including the
Oh my
handle.
God. Okay. So,
Gross.
she says that that's where she wants to go. And the Sliph puts an arm around her and pulls her into the well. This time, however, there is no rapture. She thinks about Richard and Nadine, and she is not happy.
Yeah.
No.
And she just, zooming through the Sliph, and that's where we leave her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to be still with, like, the shock thing. She's forced to envision a life without Richard now. She's not really prepared to do that. I mean, Shota is the one who put it into crystal clear terms for her. So now, even though she's in the Sliph and feeling all these awesome emotions from being in the Sliph, they're all muted because none of it really matters.
Yeah, she's numb.
Just like in the last episode when y'all gave me shit for not being happy that other people were happy because it doesn't feel good.
I don't remember this.
I'm not a hero, but this is why, because no.
No, I don't remember any of that happening.
When I said that, because Kahlan gets to fill her void with the happiness of all the other people, and I was just like, but it's not good enough, though.
Yeah.
This proves my theory.
Yes.
It's not going to be good enough.
Not for you.
Well, not for you, yeah.
Not for me, right, because I'm a selfish bastard. This is why I'm not the hero subject of a book.
You know who's not a selfish bastard, though?
Who?
Zed.
Oh, yeah, Zed's a good guy. He's a good dude.
Yeah. Do you know? I just wonder what he's up to right now.
Well, luckily for you, we rejoined Zed and Anne, and they're still captives.
What are the odds?
That's
yeah,
crazy.
Weird. That's super weird. Zed has decided to lean in hard to being a crazy person.
Oh, yeah.
And he is trying to convince Anne to do the same. She's like, I don't think it's going to work. Plus, I know that you're going to tell fucking everybody whatever I do. So I am not about to act a fool in front of you.
I think that's fair.
I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell anybody. I'm going to tell everybody.
Yeah,
right.
everybody. And I'm a wizard, so maybe I can put on like some weird little puppet show and show people what it looks like and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure he can get a damn near perfect one-to-one reenactment of what exactly happened that day. That for sure has no embellishments, only on Anne's part.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely not that.
Oh, no, Zed's no storyteller, is he?
Oh, God, no.
Never. Okay, so the two of them had sat back to back to untie their ropes. Guards don't seem to give a shit. They just let them do that. And a bunch of happy people from the village are stopping by the pen.
Just real quick. So we know what Zed's plan here is, right?
Yeah.
At least a little bit.
We were told.
Acting nutballs.
Yes.
But they sat back to back and got their hands untied. Now, the guards don't seem to care, but I would argue if Zed is really nutbag crazy, he's not going to know to do that. He's probably not going to try and care.
Oh, yeah.
Or, you know what I'm just saying?
Because he acted smart before, why would we believe you're crazy now?
Yeah, he's doing a wily, crazy, distracting, one could say thing, but if also he just happens to get his handcuffs off and picks the lock to the door, like, it matters that he did that.
Absolutely. I think that's a really good point. Because they were very cool and collected up until he decided to start acting like that.
And also, they're still going with them. It's not like they're going backwards. Like, it's not like they're trying to run away. It's like, all right, they're just playing in the mud while they still go to where we want, and they're not causing a problem.
They're in a pig pen.
I thought, that's right. They're in the pig pen.
They can't get out.
They're in the camp.
So it doesn't really matter that their hands are undone because they're still in a cage.
And they're not trying to escape. So
But,
do whatever the hell you want.
But like you said, in order to have the thought of untying yourself.
Yes.
Would be a non-crazy thought.
Or just like, I'm not trying to do it, but everything seems to be falling in favor of you escaping somehow. So I'm still going to put that shit on lockdown.
Yeah.
As a guard.
But
that's just me. Continue.
Okay, so the happy people of the village seem to be just happy to have sacrifices to appease the pissed off spirits.
Yeah, this is for everybody's benefit.
Yeah, they're all working under the same understanding.
Yeah. So, this is like they're like, fuck yeah, we're going to have a sacrifice. The spirits are going to be happy and everything's going to be great. And then the guards start to look a little less happy. They seem to be making sure that the cloth is covering their face completely, putting more ash on themselves to make sure the spirits don't recognize them. And this is all happening while Zed continues to do acrobatics in the mud.
Mud people land.
Yes.
He got the happy meal.
Sweeping it all over himself and Anne. He's, doing mud angels, all that shit. She asked him to knock it off, and Zed's like, we need to be alive to do the things we have to fucking do.
Yeah.
Right? So,
no, I'm not going to stop. I need you to get this going, too.
Yeah, there's got to be a plan. Do you have a plan? Otherwise, go with my plan, Anne, because we got to do something. And she's like, I agree, we have to live, but I just, and he's like, hey. And he plops down in her lap. He's like naked and covered in mud.
Yeah, spreading the mud all over the place.
Lays it out for her. Without magic, we can't get away. We are old people. We can't fight these people. We can't talk to these people to convince them.
Outnumbered for sure, yeah.
The only fucking option is making it look like it's going to be an insult to the spirits to kill us as a sacrifice. That's our only option at this point.
If we're broken, bad people, then the sacrifice doesn't mean as much.
Right. And he likes it. He likens it to a wedding treaty between two different peoples. We're like the bride. It would be massively disrespectful to offer a demented bride in a bargain like that. And Anne's like, yeah, I would be offended to get you in a bargain.
Oh,
yeah.
She's taking shots.
Yeah, she's being kind of a dick. And Zed laughs at it, but then he's like, hey, this is the only chance. And
for real.
He's like, I promise on my oath as the first wizard, I will never tell anybody what the fuck you do, but you gotta act like you're off your fucking rocker right now.
Yeah.
Plus, it's fun.
Yeah.
Would you rather spend the last couple minutes of your life acting like a fucking prude, or would you rather have a little bit of fucking fun, even if it doesn't work? Let's play.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this thought because he's like, look, either the plan works and then we get to live, or the plan doesn't work. And hey, you know what? At least your last few moments in life won't be fucking miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least you had one more happy thing that happened after being captured.
What's it going to hurt?
Yeah.
So who cares?
No, we don't know any of these people anyways.
It's a win-win.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Win-win-win. So Anne's like, okay. And then she knocks him down and jumps on top of him laughing. They decide to wrestle And yeah,
okay.
Once fully covered in
naked mud wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay.
This match is scheduled for one fall in this corner.
Zed, you dirty dog. You know what we should do? Get naked and wrestle. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
How will that help? No.
Do you want to not be naked, covered in mud and wrestling?
Remember the other point? What's it going to hurt?
Yeah.
Also, we talked about the virgin point.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's been brought up.
if we do that in front of these people, that could, who knows?
Ooh, yeah.
Who knows?
Hey,
Can't wait to see if that was the ultimate Zed's plan.
Yeah.
He was just like, hey, and if it happens, it happens.
How
That's
many
cool.
fantasy sci-fi things, or especially horror, like horror things, you need the virgin. You know, there's always got to be a virgin sacrifice. So
Yeah. If we don't know if it's one of the points, might as well not check it off, right?
Yeah.
I
Right
also
in front
love
of them.
that whole thought because it's like you never know when you're going to have to fuck your way out of a tight situation.
exactly.
It's like, how would that ever come up? This is how that comes up.
Also, I would argue that's the first half of almost every James Bond movie.
That's true.
We got a few examples of it working.
Okay, so
Xenia on the top. On the top of what? No,
once these two are fully covered in mud, they both howl at the sky like they're mud monsters.
Yeah.
They throw mud balls at the pigs and chase them around, riding them until they're tossed off, or having bareback pig riding.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That sounds fun as hell.
You got to run around trying to catch the greased up pig.
Yeah. So actually, real life story. There is a town that my dad grew up in, and when they have their like summer celebration, they have to catch a pig. And it's by age group. So like it starts off with like 5-year-olds chasing like not a piglet, but like just a very young pig.
Oh,
like it doesn't hurt them. Like they just got attacked, but it's like they win.
They will just turn a bunch of kids.
There's prizes.
What about the pig, though?
First one to tackle the pig gets a prize.
See, you say it doesn't hurt them, but I feel like
I would argue it might hurt the pig.
Yeah.
It could. It could.
And this is a very small town in a very rural area, so yeah, it's probably a bit problematic. But this has happened. I have witnessed this happening. And as recent as 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yes. The summer before COVID, I watched that happen.
This is the kind of entertainment that Aaron likes to partake
Hold on.
in.
No, I never said that. I just said I'm aware that it happens.
You said you saw it.
Yeah, I didn't say I enjoyed it. I said I witnessed it.
He only watched it just so that in case he was on a podcast 3 years from then, he could be like, I have a story to tell about pigs.
But I will say this. If I could get a guarantee that the pig was not going to get hurt, I would 100% do it.
Oh, yeah.
I would attempt to chase and tackle a pig.
I would not, because I would die. But Zed realizes during a one-legged game of tag that her laughter had changed. She is actually having fun. She's not faking it anymore.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Do you think... Never mind.
Interesting. This is one of those weird scenarios now where it kind of feels weird for you not to say what you're going to say.
Okay, so what I was going to say is that, like, she's acting crazy right now.
Mm-hmm.
So do you think there was a curve into her getting into acting crazy?
Oh, sure.
Like,
well,
like
yeah.
when you're dancing and you're at a wedding and it's awkward. I'm not a dancer.
Right.
But if you get a few beers in me, I'll do a cha-cha slide like a motherfucker. You know what I mean? So it's like Anne is uncomfortable doing this thing.
Yeah.
And so she's probably faking it a little bit. And what that must have looked like compared to being full in.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She
She'd be
faked
like-
it till she made it.
Exactly. Exactly. See, I had a line. I wasn't being weird.
You know, like when you're in acting class or doing an acting exercise or whatever, and they do those warm-ups to where you have to, like, loosey-goosey yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, you know, everyone's stiff and embarrassed at first, and then they loosen up. And you know what helps me loosen up?
What's that, JD?
You son of a bitch.
You brilliant bastard, you.
Beer.
I had another one, a different one.
Wow,
in
really?
the chamber, ready to go, and you fucking cut in front of me.
She snuck in and grabbed it.
You son of a bitch.
Sorry.
I do believe that it's time for the beer break. But Aaron, since you were so rudely interrupted,
Nate kept tapping the beer. I felt like I had to do it.
No, you're right. And actually, now I think about it, my transition was damn near the same. I was like, they're so happy they look drunk, and you know what we should get is drunk. So I mean,
drunk.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it and I said it out loud, yours was better. So
Yeah.
I'm glad you cut in front.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, it's for the good of the podcast.
Who wants to talk?
I'll talk about it.
Okay.
Because I found it.
yeah,
Oh.
Aaron brought this one over today.
Yes, it is getting difficult for us because we try to have beers we've never had before on the podcast, and we're starting to run out of options. So
I maintain that we just have to go to more. We have to go to a specialty craft brew store,
Yes.
not our local stores, and we're
yes,
just lazy.
Yes, but that what it leads into is my excitement when I saw this, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure we haven't had this yet,
No, we haven't.
and I didn't have to put in extra work to find it. So what I felt like was a Wonder Boy.
Wonder Boy.
Oh my god!
And that's what we're
What
drinking.
is the secret
No,
of
shh,
your
we'll get copyrighted. Copy strikes.
No, that was less than 4 seconds. Nobody tell. Everybody just be real cool.
I
Everybody-
was talking in the background.
Everybody shut the fuck up and get calm. Anyway, Wonder Boy, that is the name of the beer we're drinking. It's from Eastern Market Brewing Company in Detroit, Michigan.
Oh, Detroit.
That was great. I like to think it was because of my setup that led you to that, so that's because of me.
Yeah, that was a 3-person thing that just
Wow.
happened, for sure.
But this Wonder Boy is a German-style Kolsch. Kolsch. I'm not German. And I never learned how to speak German, so I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that. But the tagline is it's light, crisp, and clean. And I haven't had a sip yet, so I know you guys are into it.
Yeah,
I don't know you're
I
into
have.
it, but you're into it. So, Hold on.
Okay.
Bow. All right, go ahead.
Wow.
So this one is not an IPA, but it kind of gives me the same vibe. It's not overly hoppy though.
I think it's like
It is light. I will say it's crisp. It is refreshing. The flavor, I don't know if Jade is going to love the flavor, but I think that, I don't know. I like it. In its simplicity, it's very good.
it reminds me of like an ale. Like last night me and Nate actually went to a hockey game. Woo!
Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a sports thing last night.
Yeah, it's better than Michelob Ultra.
Yeah.
Went to a hockey game, eh?
Yeah, we did.
Watch
we
yourself
did.
some hockey.
Our team lost, but it was $2 beer night.
Yeah.
So
So really, did we lose? I don't think so.
I mean, we had to drink Michelob Ultra instead
Yeah.
of craft brew, so
They
kinda.
didn't at least have like Sam Adams there.
Not for $2.
Oh, usually. Oh, that sucks. They used to have at least like
they
a
had
Sam
other
Adams
options there, but if
no,
you wanted
for $2. They used to.
Oh.
It used to be like Bud Light,
Yeah.
Michelob, and then like Sam Adams Summer Lager.
It was Bud Light or Michelob.
we got there partway through the first period, and they had already run out of Bud Light.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I had to go get more.
Interessante.
But so this is like, it's better than that. It's better than Michelob Ultra. I will say that. But it's like a regular Pilsner ale or something. I
we
don't
are
know.
coming in at 5%, so
Yeah.
it's a little bit heavier
Okay.
than your Buds, your Millers, your Coors. But yeah, it's basically it just tastes like beer.
Yeah.
It's no fruits, no veggies, no chocolates, no coffees.
It kind of reminds me of a lager, but like a lighter lager.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Yeah.
it tastes like beer, but a step above like your regular beers, because I feel like I was drinking that Michelob. When I drink regular like Michelob or Bud Light, those things taste stale to me now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We need the flavor.
Yeah, like fresher. This is fresher beer.
So here's my question. Out of 5 elephants, because there's an elephant on the can.
there's also a dog that's flying.
Yeah. You know what? Out of 5
Oh my God, there's a flying dog.
That's what
on
Wonder
the-
Boy is. Wonder Boy is
That's
the
Wonder
dog.
Boy.
It's a good
Oh.
boy. It's such a good boy.
boy.
Such a good boy. Okay, out of 5 good boys. Out of 5 such a good boys.
I'm gonna give this.
How many such a good boys would you give it?
I'm gonna give this 3.5 good boys. I feel like that sounds low, but I don't mean it to be.
I'd go 2.5.
Yeah, I was gonna go a solid 3, but nah, it's 50%. It's 2.5. It's not bad. 2.5's not bad out of 5. You know,
That's
it's not
true.
like 1.
That's true.
So, but yeah, it's just okay, dog.
Yeah.
I like it. I don't know if I'll ever buy it again,
Bork, bork.
but I'll drink it every time. Kolsch, a German style beer.
Bork,
That was the best commercial. All right, so if you guys find this around, I'm not sure how far around it gets. It's from Detroit, and we got it in Grand Rapids, so that means it's at least shipping
Couple
Within
hours.
at least
state.
within Michigan. Yeah. But if you guys can find this, I recommend you try it. I think it's decent, and you might enjoy it.
Yeah.
So with that, we are going to finish these because we just opened these.
Yes.
But then we will be back right after this.
And we're back.
Woo.
Woo!
I woo a lot.
Yeah, well, it's exciting. You know,
I do.
Yeah.
we just got a beer. We're feeling good. Zed and Ann are like rolling around. They're feeling good. But the crowd around them is growing worried.
Aw.
They are whispering among each other. And Ann is making faces at them. She's making it worse. And Zed
As you do.
decides to stand on his head, you know, naked and sing lewd lyrics.
So
I don't know if he's naked. I think he's naked. Or at least
I'm
he
assuming.
has a robe and I know his butt keeps coming out.
yeah, his
keeps-
ass is hanging out.
He
I
keeps
think maybe
putting his penis out there.
because he's got a robe.
Yeah.
so it keeps coming
Maybe
up.
that's what it is. Because we keep hearing about his penis in here.
He's not wearing anything underneath
Yeah.
his kilt, so it's just kind of out there.
Yeah.
You know.
I read and listened to the same chapter you guys did, but for whatever reason, I wasn't thinking about Zed being naked during all this.
Oh, it adds a whole extra layer.
Even when it said it, and I don't appreciate the mental picture that is now in my head because you guys clarified that.
Yeah, he's on his head singing lewd lyrics. Like, he's singing dirty songs.
Yeah.
Which is another reason why I like Zed, because when I
Fair,
learned
fair.
to play the guitar and I started getting into open mic nights, one of the first things I did was learned a bunch of kind of raunchy bar songs that I could
yes.
play to work up a crowd. So, I mean, you know, tips, man. So I was like, we'll play a bunch of dirty songs, and it worked.
And,
But of course Zed would know some of those.
well, in their lewd song, and he's making them even worse by fucking him up. And it's making Anne lose her mind even more because she's listening to him, and they can't understand what he's saying, but she can.
Yeah.
So she's losing her goddamn mind even more so over there because she's like, yeah, that's funny. So they fall over laughing and tickling each other, and suddenly
is.
buckets of water are just dumped on their heads.
Aw,
Yeah.
party poopers.
But as fast as they're washed clean, they dive back into the mud until they're held at spear point and washed again. Because they are,
Oh.
like, even with, this is the thing, they are so far into their, like, playtime that even getting, because I feel like if I'm pretending to have a good time and, like, haha, we're having fun, I get splashed with water and you have the shock factor, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, like, the crazy, where you're like, we're crazy and not faking it, that would go away when you're splashed. But these two are so far committed that it doesn't matter that they were splashed. They continued to be like, ha ha ha.
Yeah, because
mud.
then it changes. Now it's a fucking water balloon fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Actually,
yeah.
I wasn't even going to go that far. Do you know what happens when you add water to mud? You kind of just make more
More
mud.
mud.
yeah.
Like, guys, this is not a great thought process here.
You should haul out a giant fan and dry all of this.
Yes,
that
you
would
need to
solve
dry
your
them
problem.
off, not get them wetter.
Well, their solution is just to hold them up so they can't get back in the mud.
Yeah, that works too.
The two of them continue to make faces at each other, and the guards start yelling. They push them away, and it just makes the two of them laugh even fucking harder. They have blown a funny fuse at this point. They can't get on top of it. Like, you know those episodes where something just makes me crack and I cannot stop, and it's almost annoying because I can't stop?
But
that's
this,
what happened.
No, this isn't that. This is that. But then because you've cracked so much, you have therefore then cracked one of us.
Yeah, and then you keep
And-
cracking me, and we
Yes,
like it's a
and then it becomes a cyclical thing of
yes.
like, well, Jade was about to recover, but then I cracked from
Yeah.
Nate, and now Jade's gonna crack from me, which is gonna re-crack Nate, and then 30 minutes go by.
Yeah, we can't look at each other at all because it'll just make it worse.
Yeah.
Now
like-
the podcast is over because it's
Yeah.
just us all dying.
Oh no.
So the crowd parts as the prisoners are let out of the pig pen, and Zed tells Anne to wave at the people, and she decides to keep making faces instead. The people shrink away from them. Some of the women are like wailing and weeping.
Oh no.
And Zed and Anne point and laugh at the women.
Oh no. Let's think about that from that woman's. Yeah. It's like maybe she wasn't on the spirit hunting squad.
Yeah.
Like, she's just an average citizen, and you are freaking her the fuck out.
Yeah, and they're like, ha ha!
Yeah, and then they point left.
The point is to make them think you're not a good sacrifice. The more you upset these people, it might just turn into, no, just kill them anyway.
Yeah, now we're going to kill him as a punishment.
Yeah.
Yeah, kill you for fun now.
Oops. That's where Zed's like, no, let's be a little nice to these. Let's fuck with the guards.
Yes.
But the rest of the people, like, we want them to see us as humans, so they also don't want us to die.
We're humans. We're just, quote unquote, bad humans.
No, he's pointing too, Nate.
No, yeah, Zed's in on it.
Yeah.
That would be the better plan, as if he wasn't and could reel Ant in, but no, they're too far gone.
He's too far into the role.
So the tents are left behind as they're led at spear point. 35 to 40 Nangtung follow with bows and spears, but they also have provisions and packs. So this is not just like a little jaunt, right? We are going somewhere.
Yeah, we're leaving. We're not just headed down the path.
Right.
And they're nomadic people, so like this isn't that hard for them to do.
Right.
Like, they're efficient.
Right. Zed and Anne are skipping ahead. No idea where they're going, but fucking happy to be going wherever it is, because it is not back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, the real... that.
It was outside of a cage is what I was thinking, but that's great. Yeah, anywhere that's not here.
We know exactly what this is, guys. The treasure isn't at the end of the journey. It was the journey itself, and it was the friends you made along the way.
That's right. The friends they made along
They're
the way.
on the journey right now.
That one lady and her kids who they pointed and laughed at.
That was the treasure. Her discomfort
Being able
was
to
their
do that
treasure.
to somebody. That was the treasure.
Yeah, they're trolls.
But yeah, I do think that they are discounting the fact that they could just like be like, hey, walk over there and we can just shoot you with some arrows and be done with it.
Yeah, they're going too far the other way.
Yeah. But we end up leaving them at this point.
Speaking of going the other way.
That's pretty good.
We travel back towards Aydindril, where Richard is out scouting with some men.
Oh, okay.
They're having a men's scout party.
Men's scout?
It shall be a hunting party. Gather the gloves and the hounds. Indubitably.
Huzzah. Oh, no. We might have broken Nate. Do you listeners remember just a short while ago what we said? Yeah. Sometimes you can crack.
I told you earlier I listened to Moby Dick this week and they say huzzah quite a bit in the book. I wasn't ready for it.
I failed to see how a white whale is relevant to anything we're discussing right now. But
no, it's great. There's this drunk English dude on a ship and he's just like huzzah, and then he just wants to get drunk. Nice. And it's awesome.
That's not in the movie we watched.
No,
he read the book. The book is always better than the movie. Yeah, the book
is different. But when Aaron said that, I was like, I knew exactly what it meant, and it didn't catch me off guard. I just wasn't ready for Aaron to say it. It broke my brain.
Anyways.
Yes.
Okay.
Transition back.
Whew.
Richard and his dudes are out. They're below where the temple should be, right? They're investigating what must have happened.
Yeah,
okay?
they need to figure it out because they need the temple.
Yes. They need to figure it out.
Yeah.
And also, Kahlan's gone, and he doesn't know when she's coming back.
Yeah.
So, might as well go play with some men while she's gone. You know?
I will say, normally Richard would be beside himself, but he seems very calm right now.
He's like, I got other shit to do. Can't worry about it. Keep moving.
Are we still doing phrasing? Because Nate just went right up past that. Like, what Jade said was totally okay. Yeah. Which it kind of is, but you did say that because
there's anything wrong with
what did I miss?
You did say Kahlan was gone, so Richard went to play with a bunch of men.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Phrasing's not a worry anymore, I guess.
No.
Onward.
Okay. So, one of the men in the group points out a different rock slide on a mountain in the distance, right? He's like, look at the way the ground is littered with the rocks below. That's a lot of rocks. But like in relation to the rock slide, you can see right where it carved off the side of the mountain, and there's a bunch of rocks there. It makes sense.
Yeah, the shape of the thing that was up there is now crushed on the ground,
right.
But you could see where it came from.
Right. If the same thing happened to the temple there above them, there should be a mound of rocks right where they're standing.
Or like formed things, like parts of the temple.
Yeah.
There'd be like roof crests and stuff like that. Big arched columns that are broken.
There should be
that
evidence.
are there, but yeah.
Things that are clearly not just a rock.
Right.
Right, yeah.
The idea that nature has grown over the rocks, because we don't know how long ago this was, is brought up. But it's unlikely. Because it would look like you said, like there's roof pieces and
parts of it down there.
You know, it wouldn't be flat the way it is. Richard starts to talk about how it should be here, but it's not. It's like it's just gone.
Yeah.
And one of the men starts getting really fucking nervous when he starts saying that. He's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean it's gone? It couldn't just be gone. What could do something like that?"
Yeah, but how is that possible, Richard?
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And Richard's like, "Magic. Never mind. You know what?"
See, the only problem I have with this, and granted, this thing that I'm about to say is solved by the end of the chapter, but how do you know that it was here? Just because something looks weird, it could literally have been any other thing, right? Like, we don't have confirmation that it was exactly in this place beforehand.
Yeah,
so it could be that, like, maybe, just say a dragon was flying and smacked into this mountain and caused it to do this thing, but there's no rocks underneath, right? It just sheared it and then took the rocks 1,000 feet in another direction. That could have happened here, and it would have looked the same.
The only
this isn't proof that the temple was here.
Yes, the only thing they know right now is that the temple did not disappear in a rock slide. That doesn't mean there is other very easily explainable things, that it's not just magic.
Right.
Something else could have happened. Maybe you got the location wrong. Maybe you're not at the right mountain, and that mountain has always looked like that.
And now they could have, because they are going based on a journal from 3,000 years ago that they don't understand. They're translating, right? And then they're going, okay, based on that translation, it makes sense that it could be this mountain. And this mountain does have outbuildings that look like they lead, like they were in front of a larger building.
Yeah, I know it's a little bit ahead, but there's a road.
Yeah, they were on, they were on a path. They were on a road, whatever it was. So like but that doesn't mean it went to the Temple of the Winds. That just means it went somewhere.
That's true.
Maybe I've seen paths that lead to parks. So paths don't have to lead to a building. It can lead to nature.
No.
The way this guy jumped so quickly to like, it wasn't rockside. There's no explanation for this. Is this magic? Is this magic?
Yeah.
Bro, tell me right now, is this magic?
The other thing that I don't think I put in here specifically, it is mentioned that with rock slides, there is like a craggy nature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this looks like it was clean cut. It is like a clean cut off the side of the mountain. Now, there have been some divots in it since, but it was very obviously one clean slice. And that is not necessarily a natural breaking.
See, that would be the thing, is that it's all perfectly flat, carved away. Like it was cut away.
Yeah.
Then I could see that causing some red flags.
At least making you go, looks funny. Right?
Yeah. Could be natural, but looks funny.
To a layman,
Yes.
I guess you could say it would look funny.
Yeah.
Right. And so Richard's like, all right. I think that maybe the mound just filled the valley. Like maybe this was like a very deep valley before, and all the rocks that fell down magically, or not magically, I'm sorry, that was not the word I meant.
Euphemism.
Yes, coincidentally, okay.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. There we go.
Filled the valley in order to make it flat like this.
Absolutely.
Okay,
for sure.
Yeah,
Faux
that's why there's no evidence. That makes sense. So Richard's like, now that that's put to bed, let's go up top and see what it used to look like, okay? He turns to their guide, Andy, and Andy is just happy. He's happy to take him up there. He's honored to be a chosen by Richard to do this awesome task.
Yeah.
There's a note in there, though, that says that Richard feels sheepish or bad about this because he was just the first one he found that knew where the temple was. So he feels bad that the guy feels honored to be chosen. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, why?
But he's literally the perfect guy.
And he's doing it.
You're mad that you picked a guy that's qualified to do what you picked him to do?
Yeah, like...
Shouldn't that just be a good... That's great. That's a win for everyone.
It sounded to me like Richard was diminishing him in his head.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah. He was like, you're nothing special. You're just the first guy I found.
I should have paid the cheaper guy to do it.
You shouldn't feel honored because you're nothing special. You're just
fuck you, Richard.
Yeah, I could have done this myself.
Andy's a great guy.
Yeah.
Leave Andy alone.
But this is going to be the high point of my career.
Thank you,
I
guys.
got to guide the Lord Rolf somewhere, and he trusted me.
Yeah.
I appreciate you two right now a whole lot because that's how I felt. I was like, I feel like we need to defend Andy from Richard right now. He's being an asshole.
I'm Andy. I'm ride or die for Andy now.
Team Andy.
I have nothing but an employee point of view sometimes. You know what I mean? So I'm not a boss here on the podcast in any meaning of the word. I get Andy right now.
If Andy never shows up again, if he doesn't show up by the end of this book, I'm off the podcast. I want justice for Andy.
Yeah.
Justice for Andy.
Yeah.
Hashtag justice for Andy. We should check that before
and if he dies, I'm going to cry.
Yeah, he should prove to Richard that he's more than just some random dude, because that's how Richard treats him.
He's going to show up like Superman with his own sword and dragon just by the end, being like, Richard, I was the guy, just so you know.
Also, I created this plague antidote in my toilet. Here you go.
Prison wine is the antidote?
Yeah. Anyways, he also mentions that we should make it well before nightfall because, Richard moves way faster than most important people do. He's not like a normal rich person.
Yeah, the richer they are, the slower they go.
Yeah.
That was funny as fuck.
He's not like every boy, He's special. He can move fast.
Richard's not like most girls.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going for. I'm glad you picked up on that. Once they make the top, they see the outbuildings. There's like super descriptive things. We're not doing that. Richard tries to visualize what it looked like when the winds were there. He walks the road to where the temple used to be.
So this is the road in his mind.
Well, there is a road there. So he starts where the road is. But it's like the road goes off the cliff, right? You can see standing at the end of the road that it ain't going nowhere good. Like it's just ends at the end of the road.
But what I'm saying is that he's like half in his brain visualizing the way it used to look.
Right. He starts walking and visualizing.
So he's pulling the guy from Boondock Saints, the detective, who is, you know what I mean?
Was a fire.
Yeah, exactly. Hair all disheveled. I fucking love that scene.
Yeah. I was thinking more like Richard's at the point where you get home from work and then you realize you don't exactly remember the drive home from work.
Oh.
Where it was like, wait, did I stop at that stoplight? Like, I don't remember how I got home. Where it's just you're just zoned out.
Oh, right.
It's like you're not so focused on driving or that, so it's just like all of a sudden you're like, how did I get home?
It's like
you're in there, but not fully paying attention.
Yeah, it's not because like drugs or being drunk. It's just like I've had that. Where it's just like, wait, I've been on the road for 10 minutes, but I only remember like 2. I'm not supposed to be this far on the highway yet.
Shit. Okay. So he pictures how it was all those years ago. He gets himself so caught up in it. Like you said, he doesn't even realize where he really is. He's not actually seeing the ground or the sky around him until he's about to step off the cliff. And the only time he realizes that is when Ulick and Egan grab his fucking armpits and are like, what? Which also, I feel like, I like Ulick and Egan, right? But they let him go a little too... If his feet went off the edge of the cliff, he waited too long.
As far as I'm concerned, they should have grabbed him at least 6 foot away from the cliff.
Yeah, at least hand out.
Because if you fall and you're 6 foot away, then you won't fall off the cliff.
Yeah.
I think their hands were hovering. Richard didn't notice them.
Oh,
that's why nothing's mentioned. I think they were like, he got 6 feet away and they like look at each other and they're like, okay, yeah.
Yep.
And they start, like, they are literally hovering
close.
about to grab him. And then as soon as they see Richard lift his foot to take a step, that's when they grab.
Then they grab.
I just feel like that's still too close, man.
It's
I
very
feel
close.
But they, like, picture from Ulick and Egan. What does the Lord Rawl know? Magic. He's like, I'm sure they can tell, like, he's in a fucking trance right now.
Maybe he's gonna make it appear.
Maybe this is a magic thing. And then they finally were just like, okay, we're not gonna risk it.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a
Let's
building there
grab him.
It's
anymore.
like he can just walk on the
Yeah.
air because the temple was there.
Maybe
and
it's
they're like,
invisible.
Hey, look, to us, you were about to die,
But-
so we had to just, wait a minute.
Did anyone else picture Ulick and Egan picking up Richard like he's a child?
Yeah, I love that.
Like, just kind of hooking their arms, they're just like, whoop, and Richard's just walking his feet in the air.
Still out there.
I love it.
Gonna go
Anytime
this
this
way,
happens,
buddy.
the
Yeah.
Lord Sith have done this to him before
Yes,
too.
yes.
I love it. Every time it happens,
Yes.
they just scoop him by his armpit.
Especially when Richard is described as being taller than the Lord
Yeah.
Sith, so for them to pick him up would be like some weird
Yeah.
cheerleading move. It makes no sense,
Yeah.
but I like it.
Yeah, I love it. It's my favorite thing ever. But that's the end. That's the end of the chapter.
Yeah,
that's
that
it.
is the end
Oh,
of
the time.
chapter.
Yeah, the timeline is over now.
That was a smorgasbord of a chapter.
Yeah, I mean, and we've been talking about with the timeline thing. It's a like-dislike kind of a deal, but
It's hard to do a timeline.
yeah, especially with this chapter.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like, we can't rush through it. There's so much stuff going on.
Because it's like, do you do a short timeline for Kahlan and then a discussion, and then a timeline for Zed and Ann, and then a discussion, and then a timeline
Yeah.
for Richard? Nah, just do the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, nah, meh.
Yeah.
So we're staying flexible with it.
Yeah.
I'm nothing if not flexible. I'm just kidding. I'm
Wow.
terrible at being flexible.
Wow. Okay. That's... Didn't need to be here for that. I'm sorry to everyone else who had to hear that.
Wow.
I think that was supposed to be off mic, but from Nate to Jade.
Why you gotta be such a lewd person all the time? I was talking about with my schedule and with my
fuck.
attitude.
Damn it.
Like
That's a great point.
you're a fucking. You just gotta take it there every time. I never do that.
Yeah, but you gave Nate a nod and winked at him when you said it.
No, I didn't.
I know, I made that up. I was hoping to gaslight you into thinking maybe you did, because then I wouldn't feel so bad.
You want to fight?
Maybe, but if we fight, it's going to be off mic.
All right, Nate, we gotta end the podcast.
Yeah, I don't want any
All right.
record of the result, because I'm embarrassed at what it probably will be.
Well, thank you all very, very much for listening. You have now heard our truth, and we want to hear yours. So if you would like to let us know what you thought of this episode or this chapter, you can write in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com. That was my favorite one.
You wound up for it. Jade wound up.
I missed it. I wasn't right on time.
You can follow us on all the social medias at podcast ATT.
I feel like you jumped the gun a little bit on that one,
I
though,
know. I'm off.
Get more info and see what we're up to at podcastatt.com.
Or see,
if
Nate
you
went out of
feel
focus
like-
on that one. That was
I know.
He's trying to fuck me up.
I'm a little distracted now. I'm not going to lie. And if you want to support this podcast, then you could go to patreon.com/podcastatt
I'm
and
gonna do the whole
pledge
thing
to a
now.
tier of any amount. It does not matter. We'd just be happy to have you there. If that's not your thing, make sure to rate this podcast. 5 stars is preferable if you feel like we deserve that. If not, don't rate us. Send me an email, right?
Yeah.
And let us know what we can fix.
We want
That would be best.
much like the Sliph. We aim to please.
Yeah.
So if you do not think we're 5 stars, let us know.
I'll tell you what, Seeker.
Don't rate us less than 5.
Hey, don't tell them what to do, though. That's not
No,
cool.
it does help. Like 5-star
Anyways,
ratings
okay,
help.
anyways.
algorithms. It's a big thing.
Much like the Sliph, I feel like giving us a 5-star rating would bring you pleasure.
Oh.
So
okay.
I just say try it. You know, see what happens.
Yeah, try it out.
Best thing you ever did. Just saying.
Dip your toe in.
I'll try anything about 10 times.
All right. Well, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you real soon.
Bye.
That is not the same giggle. You cannot just change it. Like 200 plus episodes. What the fuck, Jade?
Hey, I can do what I want. Say goodbye.
Goodbye.